In 2026, 4 humans will travel farther from Earth than anyone has in more than half a century. They will disappear behind the moon, lose direct communication with Earth, and rely entirely on systems that have never carried humans this far before. And yet, they will not land on the moon. This mission is not about footprints. It is about something far more critical, proving that humans can survive deep space again. This is Artemis II. And this is why it matters. More than 50 years ago, humans last left low Earth orbit during the Apollo program. Since then, every astronaut has remained relatively close to Earth, protected by its magnetic field and supported by rapid rescue options. Artemis II marks the end of that era. This mission will be the first time humans travel into deep space since 1972. Not to land, not to build, but to test every system, assumption, and safety margin required for future lunar and eventually Mars missions. In this video, we'll break Artemis II down into 3 parts: the spacecraft that will carry the crew, the mission profile and why it's designed this way, the astronauts who will test humanity's return beyond Earth. Artemis II uses the most powerful crewed rocket ever built, the Space Launch System, or SLS, developed by NASA. The rocket consists of several major components, each designed with a specific purpose. On both sides are 2 massive solid rocket boosters. These provide the majority of thrust during the first 2 minutes of launch. Once their fuel is exhausted, they detach and fall away. At the center is the core stage, a massive orange fuel tank containing liquid hydrogen and oxygen. This stage continues powering the rocket into space after the boosters separate. Above the core stage sits the Interim Cryogenic Propulsion Stage, or ICPS. Its job is to provide the final push needed to place the spacecraft into the correct orbit and later send it toward the moon. At the very top is Orion, the spacecraft that will actually carry the astronauts. Orion is divided into 3 main sections. The European Service Module provides propulsion, power, oxygen, and thermal control. Without it, Orion cannot maneuver or sustain life. The Crew Module is where the astronauts live for the entire mission. Unlike the International Space Station, there are no separate rooms. Every activity, eating, sleeping, working, exercising, happens within this confined space. Finally, at the top is the Launch Abort system. If anything goes wrong during ascent, this system can pull the crew capsule away from the rocket in milliseconds. When the mission is complete, only the Crew Module will return to Earth. Everything else is disposable. Artemis II is not a landing mission. That is intentional. Before humans can return to the lunar surface, NASA must answer a much more basic question. Can modern spacecraft safely carry humans through deep space for extended periods? Artemis I, launched in 2022, tested the rocket and Orion without a crew. Artemis II adds humans into the equation, and that changes everything. With astronauts on board, the mission can finally test life support systems, radiation shielding, communication reliability, navigation and autonomy, human performance in deep space. These are things no robotic mission can fully validate. One of the most important parts of Artemis II is something often overlooked: daily life. Astronauts will test how they eat, sleep, exercise, and use the bathroom in a confined deep space environment. They will evaluate food preparation systems, water recycling, and exercise equipment designed to maintain muscle and bone density. Even simple tasks become complex when gravity disappears. Every observation feeds into the design of longer missions, where crews will be months away from Earth instead of days. Artemis II will launch from Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39B. At liftoff, the rocket produces more thrust than any crewed vehicle in history. 2 minutes after launch, the solid rocket boosters separate. 8 minutes in, the core stage shuts down and detaches. The ICPS ignites, placing Orion into a highly elliptical orbit around Earth. At its farthest point, Orion will be roughly 46,000 miles from Earth, farther than any human spacecraft has traveled before, even heading to the moon. During the first day, Orion separates from the ICPS and begins autonomous maneuvering tests. In future missions, Orion will need to dock with lunar landers and space stations. Artemis II verifies that the spacecraft can orient itself, fire its thrusters accurately, and respond to unexpected conditions. Failures in these systems cannot be tolerated on future missions. After completing Earth orbit tests, Orion performs a burn known as trans-lunar injection. This maneuver sends the spacecraft toward the Moon on a free return trajectory, a path that uses gravity to naturally bring the spacecraft back to Earth without additional engine burns. This flight path was famously used during Apollo 13, allowing the crew to return safely after a critical failure. For a test mission, this trajectory provides an added layer of safety. Beyond Earth's magnetic field, astronauts are exposed to cosmic radiation and solar particles. Artemis II will test Orion's radiation shelter, a designated area where crew members can take cover during solar events. Understanding radiation exposure is essential for all future deep space missions, especially those lasting months or years. Artemis II is a lunar flyby mission, similar in concept to Apollo 8. The spacecraft will pass behind the Moon, reaching approximately 230,000 miles from Earth. During this phase, the crew will temporarily lose direct communication with Earth, another critical test for future operations. The closest approach to the lunar surface will be about 4,600 miles. No landing, no surface operations, just precision navigation, observation, and system validation. After completing the flyby, Orion adjusts its trajectory for Earth re-entry. The European service module separates, and the crew module enters Earth's atmosphere at extreme speeds. After surviving intense heat and deceleration, the capsule splashes down in the Pacific Ocean, where recovery teams retrieve the crew. The mission lasts approximately 10 days. The Artemis II crew consists of 4 astronauts, selected for experience, technical skill, and leadership. Each brings years of flight experience, engineering knowledge, and operational discipline. Their role is not exploration. It is validation. They are not there to make history for its own sake. They are there to confirm that the systems work. Artemis II is the bridge between the past and the future. Without this mission, lunar landings cannot resume. Deep space stations cannot operate safely. Mars missions remain theoretical. This mission does not aim to inspire through spectacle. It aims to succeed through precision. The first launch window opens in early 2026. As with any complex mission, delays are possible. With humans on board, caution is not optional. Every scrubbed launch is a sign that systems are being taken seriously. Artemis II is not a return to the Moon. It is a return to deep space, a controlled, deliberate step designed to ensure that when humans finally land again, they do so safely, sustainably, and with confidence. This mission does not ask whether we can go back. It verifies whether we are ready.